Hey, what's up, people? Jade up here. I know I haven't made like a proper video in maybe like 2 weeks, but you know, I think I've made up for it in other places. Like, I still have the Twitter thing going on. You know, I still have the live show every Wednesday at 6 p.m. And I also have the PWTR show, which we just did a great episode this past Saturday. And yeah, hopefully you guys click the link in the description box after you're done watching this video, though, and you know, go listen to that. Yeah. On to the actual subject matter of the video. I wanted to talk about Kofi Kingston because, you know, I had a little moment a couple of weeks ago. Then I didn't actually get a chance, you know, give my full thoughts on what WWE is doing with Kofi Kingston right now. So I'm going to do that, you know, right now. Kofi Kingston, I just love what WWE is doing with him. You know, he had a little segment with Randy Orton and the other members of Legacy and MVP and Mark Henry on this last episode of Raw. I liked the segment overall, but you still had that little element that, you know, that racial stereotyping in WWE where Randy Orton, you know, he goes, you guys just go back to the hood you came from, or something like all black people are from the hood, okay? You know, I see if you said it about MVP and Mark Henry, he has some quote-unquote hoodish, you know, characteristics about himself, but I don't see where you get that from Kofi Kingston besides the fact of him being black. But with that being said, I still like the segment because it's like something that you see in movies, you know, like the rich kids versus, you know, the kids from the other side of the railroad track. So I did like it from that. But yeah, WWE, they're like so far behind in the times when it comes to, you know, stuff like that. But yeah, Kofi Kingston, it seems like he's getting a big push in WWE. Like I said, I love what WWE's doing with him. You know, we have people criticizing Kofi already. You know, people jumping off of the Kofi bandwagon and, you know, saying Kofi sucks. Oh, he isn't a main event star. Why is Randy Orton being demoted? And what did Randy Orton do to deserve this? First off, you're saying that Kofi Kingston is not a main event star. I guess I can kind of see where you're coming from with this. You know, you say he's not a main event star. I guess the reason behind that being he's not a fucking main event star. Just by him being in the feud with, you know, Randy Orton doesn't automatically mean that WWE wants you to believe that he is a main event star. This is a process. This is the evolution. We are witnessing the evolution of a future main event star. Kofi Kingston is not a main event star as of right now, and he shouldn't be. Because, like I said, it's an evolution. You have a starting point and you have an ending point. Starting point, Kofi Kingston, mid-card. Ending point, Kofi Kingston, main event. Hopefully he gets there, and hopefully you guys allow him to get there without, you know, trashing him and saying he sucks. One thing that I always say, you know, this is one of my quotes. Criticize when necessary, but give credit where credit is due. I think WWE deserves a little bit of credit for pushing, you know, or attempting to push Kofi Kingston to the main event. And I think you guys need to give them a chance to push him to the main event, because you talk so much about WWE needing new stars. You talk so much about WWE needing fresh faces. Kofi Kingston is a new star. Kofi Kingston is a fresh face. Kofi Kingston is so over with the crowd, but also Kofi Kingston is exciting in the ring. So I think you guys need to give him a chance, you know, let him blossom, let him come into his own. You can't still judge Kofi Kingston based off of his whole Jamaican character, because it seems like that character has been dropped. I mean, he still has the name Kingston. He still has the Jamaican music. He still has, you know, some characteristics, but the accent has been dropped. You know, he's from Ghana, West Africa now. So, yeah, you have to see how this plays out. You have to see Kofi's new character before you know, can criticize. So yeah, there you go with that one. And for the people saying that Randy Orton is being de-pushed, Randy Orton is being demoted, I don't think so. He's using his star power to elevate Kofi Kingston to the next level. Now, if you want to know what a de-push is, look at SmackDown and look at CM Punk. I'll be talking about that in this video also. Now, that's a deep push. But, you know, before I get to that, you know, speaking of Kofi Kingston, he's going to be headlining a traditional Survivor Series elimination match. You have Team Kofi versus Team Orton. I think it's a good idea, you know, what WWE is doing with the Survivor Series matches this year, because you don't really have those main event stars like inundating Survivor Series matches like you have. I think Randy Orton is the only main event star that's headlining a Survivor Series match. You have a couple of other Survivor Series, you know, traditional tag team matches. You have Team Mickey versus Team Michelle, and you also have Team Miz versus Team Morrison. I think this is a good idea on WWE's part. I'm guessing that this is one of the reasons why they loaded up the World Championship, matches with both of the World Championship matches being triple threat matches, because they wanted to give a little bit of spotlight to the young and up and coming guys in WWE, or the guys, who are not really in the spotlight, because Survivor Series, people are used to the traditional matches, so people will be tuning in to see the World Championship matches, but they'll also be tuning in to see the traditional Survivor Series matches, and you'll get to see, a couple of young guys in the spotlight. So I think that's a pretty good idea on WWE's part. What do I want to talk about now? Let's talk about DX. John Cena in this whole main event. One of the main events that I went crazy for a couple of weeks ago. Honestly, right now, I cannot see myself going crazy for what I'm seeing on Monday Night Raw with how the whole feud, and I don't know if you can actually call this a feud, but whatever is going on between DX and John Cena, how it's developing. Does WWE realize that you have your supposed most prestigious championship? You have a leprechaun little person involved in a storyline for your WWE Championship. Like, when I look at John Cena, and when I look at Shawn Michaels and Triple H, the skits that they have, segments that they have with each other on Monday Night Raw, I just do not see that intensity. I just do not see that, seriousness that I need to see when it comes to the WWE Championship. Like, they're all joking with each other, having fun, and like I said, Hornswoggle was involved with the storyline. It seems like the WWE Championship is like, whatever. Like, screw the WWE Championship. We want to get a couple of laughs. We want to have a little bit of entertainment. I think there's a way that you can still have the entertainment, but still add that element of seriousness that needs to be there, and I just don't see that element of seriousness. But I'm not saying that the segments aren't funny. It's just that they seem, out of place. Now let's move on to the next episode of Monday Night Raw. The next episode of Monday Night Raw will feature the celebrity guest host, Roddy Piper, and there's going to be an absolutely huge and epic main event. It's going to be a triple threat tag team match. You have Jericho versus DX versus the World Champion and the WWE Champion, John Cena, and The Undertaker. Undertaker will be making a special appearance on Monday Night Raw. I will be watching that episode, as I do every episode. That goes without saying. But, yeah, speaking of The Undertaker, he's going to be in another epic match, which is going to be this Friday on SmackDown. It's going to be The Undertaker versus Chris Jericho. The first time ever that this, one-on-one match has been, broadcast. Undertaker, Chris Jericho, two of the best in the business today, two of the best in, in recent memory. This will be great. It'll be epic. I'm really looking forward to this match. And another match that I'm looking forward to on this upcoming episode of SmackDown, you have Dolph Ziggler versus John Morrison for the Intercontinental Championship. I think this is the time where John Morrison, he hands over that championship to Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler has to win this time. He absolutely has to. And, yeah, I'm really looking forward to that match. And speaking of SmackDown, I have to talk about the former world champion, CM Punk. What the hell is happening with CM Punk? He must have pissed somebody off. And I know a lot of people, they're questioning whether CM Punk is getting de-pushed. What's going on with CM Punk. I really think that this is a de-push. And, some people may be saying, oh, Jada, well, you kind of sound like you're contradicting yourself. You say that Kofi Kingston versus, Kofi Kingston versus Randy Orton, that's not a de-push. But you had on this last episode of SmackDown, you had CM Punk versus R-Truth. Why is that a de-push? But why is Kofi Kingston versus, Randy Orton not a de-push? Well, the difference between these two things, well, honestly, I still think Kofi, I still think CM Punk is getting de-pushed, but, it's going to take a little time to actually see what's going to come out of, R-Truth beating the former world champion in a match on SmackDown. If they choose to go the route that they're going with Kofi Kingston and Randy Orton, this is too many fucking names for me to remember. I can feel myself jumbling them up in my head as I go along. I'm trying to maintain my composure, because I don't... Anyway, it'll be interesting to see if they go the same route that they're doing with Kofi Kingston and Randy Orton, because they're using Randy Orton's, his star power to elevate Kofi Kingston's star power. But are they going to do the same thing with CM Punk and R-Truth? Are they going to elevate R-Truth? Are they going to push R-Truth, coming out of his match with CM Punk? Or Or is he just going to be there like he's been on SmackDown? Like he's a popular character, but WWE is not doing anything with him. And I know some people may be saying, you know, oh, R-Truth is pretty talented. Why are you saying it's a deep push for him to beat CM Punk? CM Punk, top champion in WWE, I think, without a doubt. You know, he goes from being the top superstar in WWE to, you know, wrestling referees and, you know, nobodies for, you know, basically R-Truth is a nobody. But, yeah, I said it. Sue me. But, yeah, I think that's all that I wanted to talk about in this video. Make sure you rate, comment, subscribe if you haven't. And, yeah, peace out.